Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Member Monday Spotlight with our member Kelly Leightner, who is with us today. And I'm so excited because today is Monday, July 15th, and many of you are we are halfway through the year and are looking back at your goals to say, I either crushed my goals or I didn't crush my goals. I either need to change something I'm doing or not. So, we're going to be talking to Kelly today because I believe she's our resident expert on sales because back in the day, her direct sales wasn't so great and she learned how to do it better. And so she's here to teach us how she did that. And we're here to spotlight her today because we appreciate her so much in our community. So, Kelly, welcome to your Member Monday Spotlight today.
Yay! Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. You always make me so happy and make me smile so big.
Great. I'm excited to be here too. And I want to know, talking about direct sales, like a lot of people, the number one thing I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say is, I hate sales. And I'm like, well, you just started a business, so you're 100% sales. That's what your entire business is. So tell me a little bit about the strategy of like back in the day when you learned sales and how you applied it and how it wasn't working for you and the changes that really kind of like what came up for you.
So, the biggest thing we're always taught is it's a numbers game. You got to go out there and just the more people you talk to, eventually you're going to get that yes. And that just never resonated with me. I'm like, but that nobody wants to do that. Very few people want to do that. Who likes going out there and grabbing the no? I don't wake up excited about that. Most people don't. And I was at a conference and I missed the person who was speaking at the pre-conference stuff, but I heard everybody talking about it. And it sounded interesting. I'm like, well, that's great. That's something everybody's going to forget in about 2 weeks because everybody gets hyped up when they first hear something. Well, after the conference, then I was down in Tucson. I live in the Phoenix area. I was down in Tucson for what we called a boot camp. And somebody presented that same information that I missed. And as they did it, I went, oh, shoot, this is exactly why I couldn't get yeses and why I was always getting the no's and why people sometimes didn't even bother to give me a no. They just flat out ghosted me. And what I had learned is that I'm speaking from what's important to me. I was all about research and science and safety and efficacy. My background is nursing, so it was a supplement product that I was selling, and I am actually still part of the company. But most of the people I was talking to, that was all going over their heads, and they could have cared less. So no wonder nobody was hopping on board with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I dove into that information and quickly learned that I loved this so much that I really wanted to do this. But even after learning the information, the bank methodology, I still stayed with my company. I did bring on one consultant with me after that. And I did bring on a couple more customers, but I got so busy learning and doing with bank that I just haven't really focused over here at this point. So I've helped others now improve their businesses by speaking to the most important things to the other person, which they can learn in 90 seconds or less.
Yeah, I absolutely think the bank method is amazing. I love it so much. And when you and I first met and you mentioned it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely think it's great because you're so right. If we're not speaking another person's language, they can't comprehend us. It would be no different than someone speaking to you in German or in French, and you're just looking at them like, I want to be interested. I want to show that I'm, here and I'm listening, but I have no idea what you're saying. So if you're speaking in all of this language of what really makes you pop and get excited, which is all of the scientific studies behind a specific, supplement, let's say that you were selling, that person only wants to know, what is this supplement gonna help me with in my life every single day? And you're talking about all the science and they're still waiting for you to tell them. So you've lost them. It's like a different language, right? But if you were to talk to them in their language to help them understand like how it is going to improve their life or what it's going to do for them day to day or the longevity or whatever it might be, then you're selling them on how they want to be sold to. Talk more to that.
Okay. So I'm going to use my own bank code is right here in my name. That's the BKNA. So I'm a blueprint, knowledge, nurturing, then action. So if you really want to get my attention, that first one, the blueprint, we tend, well, for me specifically too, if you talk about a step-by-step system, I always key in on that. And I never realized that that was attracting me until after I learned bank and I started catching what ads out there were grabbing my attention. And one person who had learned a little bit of bank from me put a post up and I'm like, oh, I'm all in. I'm like, do you know what it was in this? Just trying to rekey into him because I didn't know if he'd done it on purpose or not. And it was, he had said something about systems and it got my attention. I knew what he did prior to that. And I was always kind of like, okay, yeah, that's nice. But that post grabbed my attention. I wanted it because it talked about a system, which for me, that's how my brain works. There's more to the blueprint than just that. But speaking for my code, if you tell me you have a system, something that I can follow easy step by step, we like our systems and our structure. And then with my second code right behind it, it influences my first, which is the knowledge. And so, science, research, remember I talked about that's what I was doing to customers, but that was important for me. Then my third one is what's called a stress code. So nurturing and stress, sometimes for me specifically, if I wind up stressed out in my business day, I go watch TV to kind of decompress and get away from it. So some self-soothing. But nurturings can also go to what we call the dark side of the code, and they can be needy, nasty, or naive. So sometimes I can get whiny when I'm in stress. I can want to be around my friends instead of doing what I should be doing that I'm stressed out about. And then for action, that's my last one. And if you do that or show up that way, it could completely turn me off and turn me off to the sale. Just like me talking in knowledge to people where knowledge would be their last. So for action personalities, they are very high energy. They want to get to the bottom line and they don't want a whole lot of detail. So you can see by me needing the Colleen, you definitely. The moment I met her, I knew absolutely for sure she was in action. She had all of the clear signs of an action, though, because I know
Cut
bank.
through all the crap. That's me. Just cut through all the crap. Get to the the sale, all that sales stuff, it's great. But I just want to, I always want to get to the bottom line. That's just who I am. And so I love nurturing relationships with people to really get to understand them the best and how they see the world, right? And I think when we work on that side of it to nurture individuals, to really get to understand them, to care about them, to listen to them, to want to really build that relationship with them, that to me is such a key thing when it comes to sales, because you're not really selling them into anything. You're just providing the path and the opportunity at that point, and then they get to make the decision.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this and thinking you're not in sales, you are. Everybody
All
is.
of us are.
You want
Yeah.
your husband or your spouse or your partner to do something, you're
Yeah.
selling them on an idea. Kids, you want them to
Yeah.
do your homework?
Yeah.
Tell me that's not a sales process right there.
I tell them enrolling. Yeah, you're enrolling your children into doing their chores, their homework, their everything, going to school, eating dinner. You are even if in corporate America, it is huge. You may not be in a sales position, but no matter what, you're selling, you're enrolling people around you at every step of the way. And I think you made a very important comment by saying that, because this really fits everybody. And the bank methodology is taught to individuals so that we can understand the other person, right? And really be able to speak their language. How does that work when it comes to advertising? Because you talked about seeing an advertisement, because you've got, tens and thousands of people or hundreds and thousands of people that are seeing your post, yet you want to make sure that you're hitting the B, the A, the N, the K. So how would you do that in an advertising situation?
So perfect. That's one of the things I love with what we can do is use it for advertising and creating posts that speak all those languages, or if you know what your ideal bank avatar is. For me, because I work with a lot of coaches and trainers, a lot of them tend to be nurturing and action. So that's not my primary way of speaking, but most of my posts are written that way. I am still currently my LinkedIn profile is in evolution right now as I'm trying to re-gear it towards that. But we have technology tools that help with that as well. So we have an artificial intelligence that is a chat GPT with bank overlaid on it. So you can say, hey, and we call it Kai. Hey, Kai, create me a Facebook post that talks about da, 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 written for, in my case, I want my personality is nurturing action, blueprint knowledge. And so it will create it to speak to that personality type. Or if I wanted to speak to everyone, I will then ask it to, create it to speak to all types. So you can have the technology tools. And then we also have a class that's called Power Scripting that people can learn how to more effectively create it themselves. So if they don't have access to the tools, that they can speak more effectively to the code that they're wanting to write for.
Yeah. So anyone listening today might think, okay, well, how did you guys find out that you were a B or an A or an N or a K? So do you want to talk a little bit more about how you can help individuals crack that code?
Absolutely. So Colleen just popped that link up. So if you go to that link, it will bring you to an assessment. It takes you 90 seconds or less. And all it really is, pulling these up. Good. Anyway, so there's 4 cards that have 12 values on them. So you have the digital version online. And then you just put them in order. And you get a nice little personality, well, not little, but you get a nice personality report that's valued at $99 sent to you for free. I've already prepaid for all of these. And it will break down who you are and how you show up. And then after that, I would send you a link so we can talk about it and see how well you think it fits for yourself. And then I will also send you the sales report, which is what I get when someone cracks their code for me, that tells me how to work with that personality type. Yeah. And I can show you the differences between them and how cool it is to have that to work with your own clients.
For sure. No, I love it. So crackmycode.com/Kelly. We're putting the link down there for each one of you. So if you're like, well, I want to know what language that I tend to want to be spoken to, I think this is important for all of us to not only understand ourselves, but to understand others when it comes to this. And then, of course, there's so many places you can still reach Kelly out there by going to her Facebook page at Kelly Leightner. You can go to LinkedIn and look up Kelly Leightner as well. We're going to have all of these links for you, but I think the most important one today is that crackmycode.com/Kelly. And I love doing these because it just helps me understand myself better. And I think the better we understand ourselves, the better we can be for other individuals, the way we show up for our business. It's easier to be able to explain to somebody what it is that we do, how we do it, why it's a great opportunity for them. And it just makes it easier to do what we do because it feels like it provides clarity. How would you say it?
Oh, absolutely. I think you put it all. You should be with us, Colleen. You talk about this extremely well. You understand it very, very well.
I always said I could sell milk to a cow. Like it's super easy to me, but I think it's because I understand the perspective of, I understand why I buy something. I understand what motivates me, and emotion is usually most of the time behind it because we have a need, we have a want, we have something that we want to cure, or something that we want that appeals to us, that provides us greater success or whatever it is, easier in our life, fun, all of the main things that exist for our lives. And so for me, I know that we're all creating that purchase off of some type of emotion of something that's there. So that's how I crush my sales goals. Those are, my little secrets. And it all comes down to just being genuine, authentic, building great relationships with people. But I think when we understand ourselves better, like I have and have done the work. So every single one of you need to crack your code right now at crackmycode.com/Kelly. So that link will be there for you. And then, of course, connect with her, learn more, find out how you can understand yourself better, but how you can also understand your demographic better to who you're talking to. I think that is a crucial thing. So Kelly, we love having you in our community. I'm excited to have you as our speaker at our upcoming Empower and Elevate Conference November 15th. So for those of you that have not gotten your tickets, make sure you grab them for that. And if you want to be spotlighted like Kelly here today, then all you have to do is become a member of the Leap community. We'll have that link for you as well. And I think the last thing to say to them, Kelly, is just for them to crush their sales goals this week and enjoy their week, right?
Absolutely. Get out there and crush those goals, make some amazing connections, and have fun.
I love it so much. Kelly said it. So until next time, everyone, be you and be strong. Go crush your week. Bye-bye for now.